Hey, what's up? So in this video, you'll be learning how to have a successful Kickstarter or Indiegogo campaign. Now, before you jump the gun and you think about, oh my God, this amazing opportunity to go on Kickstarter, to go on Indiegogo, I just want you to pause for a second. Now, I think it's a game changer. I think crowdfunding has completely revolutionized the way we do business. The days are gone where the only resources for capital are banks. And right now, it's all about spreading your message and connecting with your clients before your product even comes out. However, it's not that simple. It's not as simple as, hey, I put a video on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and poof, I have more than $250,000 in crowdfunding. There's a science behind this, and this science is called marketing, product fit, and having the right message. So I've kind of like summarized the key points that I think it takes to actually succeed in any crowdfunding campaign. And this information doesn't come from me. Good friends of mine like Clay Hebert, who's raised more than $20 million in crowdfunding. Like, these guys have been in the backgrounds working with the who's who's. I've done my own Kickstarter for fashion. I've been behind the scenes for a couple of them. I can tell you what, if you don't follow these steps, you won't succeed. So step one, think ahead. You just can't pop a video up and hope for the best. Most successful Kickstarters, the thought process starts about 6 months ahead, because you have to know your end game. And the end game is like, what do we want to accomplish with this Kickstarter? Do we want to raise, for example, 100K? And I highly recommend, if your goal isn't to raise at least 100K, it's not worth it, because it's a lot of effort. People think Kickstarters are easy. It's not. It's a full-time job that you have to do, plus at least 2-3 other staff members for you to really have a successful Kickstarter. However, on the flip side, even if you don't raise 100K, it is the best learning curve possible to run a business. It teaches you about marketing, it teaches you about positioning, it teaches you about growth hacking, it teaches you about every single minute detail that it takes to run a business. So the first thing is plan ahead 6 months. What do you need to plan? You need to plan out exactly where do you want to go with that Kickstarter? What is your end goal with that Kickstarter? How are you actually going to execute this Kickstarter? Which team members do you need on the Kickstarter? So for example, the most successful Kickstarters I've seen, and even my own personal experience, you need 2 full-time staff members. Most likely the best option, financially speaking, is virtual assistants. But remember, these assistants need orders from you. They don't know what to do, so you have to do your homework. You have to tell them, this is our daily task, our weekly task, our monthly tasks. And usually what we have assistants for is this. I'm gonna ties into number 2. The name of the game is getting your message out there in front of the right people, not the wrong people. It doesn't matter how much traffic you have. It doesn't matter where you're featured. It matters the exact, the best way I can say, the right place to get featured, right? So if I have, for example, a tech company, it makes no sense for my my Kickstarter to be featured on a food blog. You see what I mean? So what you need to do is, you can go on Google. This is what your assistants do. They go on Google and they start sourcing journalists who have written similar topics about your Indiegogo. So journalists, let's just keep it tech. Journalists who have written about tech, journalists who have mentioned tech, journalists who are featured on tech websites, etc., etc. Next thing what you want to do is the next set of journalists who've written about crowdfunding, who've written about Kickstarter, who've written about Indiegogo. And your whole plan is to accumulate, I would say, hundreds and hundreds of names of these journalists. And this is why it's 6 months ahead. It takes time. Second step is, after you have the journalists, you want to befriend them. You're not just going to send them cold emails. Come on, think about that. What you want to do is get their Twitter profile, get their Facebook profile, get any social media profile they have, and start messaging them. Hey, thank you so much. I read your article on X, Y, and Z. I love it. That's it. You want to now develop rapport, build that communication, build that deep-rooted human connection, because in the future, when your Indiegogo campaign launches 6 months from now, it's not cold. They're aware of you. You've been communicating them for 6 months. Next, create a landing page. So obviously you have your own page on Indiegogo and Kickstarter. However, the name of the game is collecting emails, which will tie into number 4. But you need to create a beautiful landing page. And it's so easy these days. You can use software like Lead Pages, like ClickFunnels. You can even go on Theme Forest for like 25 bucks, grab a theme, and do it yourself, or hire a designer programmer for 100 bucks, and you have a beautiful landing page. And make sure your landing page is legit. It has a USP, unique selling proposition, beautiful images, benefits of your campaign, and it has to be a reason for me to opt in. I'm not just going to give you my email for the sake of you saying, hey, join our crowdfunding campaign. So what are you giving me in return? That's why a lead magnet comes in. Are you giving me a free report, a free book? Maybe you're giving me an amazing video series that goes around with your tech, like the top 5 techs in the world, and you're showing me, what are the best techs. I'll opt in for that. I want to know the cool, latest, innovative techs around the world. So I give you my email address. Number 4, tying to collecting email address. Crowdfunding and Indiegogo is like an e-commerce business, and the best ROI right now as it stands is emails. So I say personally, if you do not have a list of at least 20,000 people on your email, you won't have a truly successful campaign. The only other way you can do that if you partner with somebody that has a huge list as well, because you control traffic that way. Other ways, vis-a-vis content marketing, vis-a-vis even paying for ad banners, you really don't control that traffic. But when you have your own email list, that is your traffic. When you send a broadcast out to them, you're telling them to go to that specific page, and that page is your Indiegogo campaign. And the most beautiful thing about when you have a huge list, and huge isn't 20, you have constant communication. It isn't just a one-time blast. You're always delivering more updates. Hey guys, this is what's going on. This is where we've been featured on. You're developing rapport. You're creating a family. But the only way to really get that 20K is, once again, reverse engineering it, having that landing page, making the connection with the journalist, and planning that out 6 months. Next, 5, the video. Most people try to focus on the copy below the page. The copy doesn't matter. What matters is a proper, emotional, enticing video that evokes a beneficial emotional response for me to share the video, to contribute to your campaign. And there's so many scripts out there you can use, but what I've seen is 2 minutes and under work best, like 1:57. And it's like a story. It has an architectural climax, so beginning, climax, end, and it's about connecting to a human. I don't want to see a screenshot. I don't want to see any of that. I want to see a human being talking to me and hitting one of my emotions, pains, fear, happiness, etc. So really study the successful Kickstarters. Picasso has a saying, good artists copy, great artists steal. So go out there and steal the formula. And here's a tip. Find a video similar to your niche that other Kickstarters or Indiegogos have done that's successful, and just go on like Elance or Odesk and transcribe that video and see what types of verbiage they use, and just transplant your words into it. And that's a great template you can use. And finally, the viral aspect of it, and I call this the cause. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's below. The cause. What cause is your campaign connected to? People really don't care about your product or your services, but they do care about a movement, and that's why revolutions work. So what revolution are you starting, or what revolution are you part of? And if you're not starting a revolution, if you're not part of a revolution, then I highly insist that you join a partnership, you join a charity, you join a foundation, and that way people have a more deeply rooted emotional connection. They feel part of a tribe, they feel part of a family. And that's the key 6 steps when it comes to a Kickstarter. I hope this helps. If you enjoyed this video, please share this video. Please subscribe to my channel, and have an amazing day. Adios.